6. Nazi scars. Otto Skorzeny, who is often regarded as Adolf Hitler's deadliest general, had a gruesome scar on his cheek that extended from the corner of his mouth to his ear. He was an Obersturmbannführer, or lieutenant colonel in the SS during the Second World War. And in 1943, he gained fame for his daring rescue of Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, who'd been imprisoned in the Abruzzi Mountains. But Otto's scar wasn't from his bold rescue mission. Instead, it was earned while he was a student at the University of Vienna. It was there that he engaged in Mensur, which in English is known as academic fencing. And like many of his fellow Nazis, Otto wore the scar he received from Mensur as a badge of honor, as well as a sign of his social status and character. Dueling as a sport has been around for centuries, ever since swords were a common part of a nobleman's attire throughout Europe. So whenever fights and brawls broke out among these scrappy men, it was only natural for them to take out their weapons. Then, over time, duels became quite common in academic environments too. And because only a small number of people went to universities back then, being a student became a symbol of status. Students developed special festivities, wore unique clothes, sang student songs, and occasionally fought in duels. Academic fencing became a sort of character-building exercise, as it enabled individuals, mostly men, to show fairness and countenance even in potentially dangerous situations. And by the 17th century, duels became regulated, with the winners of fights being decided by appointed officials, who would also choose the time and location of the duel. A referee was selected to make judgment calls, and doctors would typically preside over these fights because injuries were extremely common. These injuries weren't usually life-threatening, but they did leave ugly scars called Schmitte on their profile. These bragging scars were actually quite desirable by these men, as they left a permanent reminder of a fight well fought. Soon enough, scarring earned through Mensur became a sign of social class and bravery, because it was only those from higher-class families that could attend universities, where dueling fraternities were rampant. And it wasn't until the 19th century that duelers began taking more precautions. In the early days of Mensur, many students would lose their lives participating in these duels, most of whom would suffer a punctured lung. But by 1884, a padded leather vest that almost extended past the dueler's knees was customary to be worn while engaging in one of these fights. 5. The mysterious Battle of Los Angeles. The baffling Battle of Los Angeles, which is sometimes called the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, refers to a remarkable incident that took place during World War II on the nights of February 24th and 25th, 1942. The event unfolded just a few months after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, when tensions and fears were running high along the American West Coast. And what transpired that night in LA sparked both confusion and speculation, leaving a lasting mark on the archives of UFO lore. The incident began when radar operators and air defense systems detected an unidentified object moving through the skies over Los Angeles. Fearing a potential air raid, sirens wailed and a blackout was ordered, plunging the city into total darkness. Anti-aircraft artillery units went on high alert and began a barrage of heavy firepower against the mysterious object. And for several hours, the skies above LA were ablaze with searchlights and filled with the sound of exploding shells. The bombardment was intense, with over 1,400 rounds of anti-aircraft ammunition being fired. However, despite the intense firepower, no enemy aircraft were shot down, and no evidence of hostile forces was found. The aftermath of the incident left authorities completely baffled. Initially, there were claims that the object was a Japanese aircraft or even a possible invasion by Japan. But subsequent investigations and analysis failed to provide a satisfactory explanation. The official account released by the military stated that the object was likely a weather balloon, reflecting the nervous atmosphere and misidentification during wartime. The Battle of Los Angeles quickly became a subject of fascination and conspiracy theories, with many speculating that the object was, in fact, an extraterrestrial spacecraft. UFO enthusiasts argue that the intense anti-aircraft barrage failed to bring down the object because it was of extraterrestrial origin, capable of withstanding conventional weaponry. And while the true nature of the object remains a mystery to this day, The Battle of Los Angeles represents a puzzling moment in history. Whether it was a case of misidentification, an atmospheric phenomenon, or something otherworldly, the incident has since become an enduring part of UFO folklore. And even now, the story captures the imaginations of those intrigued by the mysteries of the unknown. 4. Rudolph Hess. Rudolph Hess, a prominent figure in Nazi Germany, remains one of the most obscure and mysterious personalities of the 20th century. Born on April 26, 1894, Hess became Adolf Hitler's close confidant and deputy Führer of the Nazi Party. However, it was his bewildering flight to Scotland during World War II that earned him his status as a perplexing historical figure. On May 10, 1941, Hess embarked on a solo flight from Germany to Scotland in a daring and covert mission. His intention was to negotiate peace with the British government, seeking an alliance against the Soviet Union. He parachuted into a field near the village of Waterfoot, just south of Glasgow, where he was captured and subsequently imprisoned by the British authorities. The motivations behind Hess's risky flight have remained a subject of intense speculation and conspiracy theories. Some argue that he acted alone, driven by a misguided personal conviction, while others believe that his actions were permitted by Hitler himself, intending to test the possibility of negotiating peace with Britain. Another theory, however, suggests that Hess was acting independently, motivated by his own ideological beliefs and discontent with Hitler's policies. Hess's subsequent fate further contributes to the mystery surrounding him. He was held captive in various locations before being brought to trial in 1946. And after being found guilty of crimes against peace and conspiracy to commit war crimes, Hess was sentenced to life imprisonment. He spent the rest of his days in Spandau Prison, where he became the sole inmate for more than 2 decades. And Hess's death in 1987 added yet another layer of intrigue. Officially ruled a self-inflicted death, some conspiracy theorists argue that he was murdered to prevent him from revealing sensitive information. Either that or his death was staged to enable his escape. The circumstances surrounding his demise continue to fuel speculation and unanswered questions, as some believe it wasn't Hess at all that stood trial, but an imposter. The mystery surrounding Rudolph Hess is still alive today, with numerous books, documentaries, and debates attempting to unravel his motivations and the true extent of his involvement in Hitler's inner circle. It's not clear whether he was driven by personal conviction or political calculations, but Hess's flight to Scotland and subsequent life remain a captivating puzzle, one that has yet to be fully put together. Do you think it's possible that the man that was imprisoned for war crimes was an imposter and not Rudolph Hess, as history wants us to believe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. 3. The DDay Crosswords. The DDay Crossword holds a unique place in the history of World War II. Published in the Daily Telegraph newspaper in May of 1944, just weeks before the pivotal D-Day invasion, crossword puzzles became the subject of intrigue and suspicion due to their allegedly coded answers. The puzzles, created by Leonard Daw, a schoolmaster and crossword compiler, featured several words that corresponded to key military code names and terms associated with the imminent Allied invasion of Normandy. Words like Utah, Omaha, Overlord, and Mulberry were included, sparking suspicion that the crosswords contained sensitive information that was leaked from intelligence sources. And when British intelligence caught wind of the crosswords, they initiated an investigation. Fearing a security breach, they interrogated Daw to figure out the origins of these seemingly coincidental answers. And after a thorough examination, it was concluded that the incorporation of the codenames was merely a remarkable coincidence. Daw, completely unaware of the military significance of these terms, had constructed the puzzles innocently. The D-Day crosswords quickly became a subject of fascination and speculation, with many debating the possibility of a deliberate leak or act of espionage. However, no evidence of intentional code transmission was ever found. And instead, the crosswords stood as a curious episode that seemed to blur the line between chance and conspiracy. The incident surrounding the D-Day crosswords demonstrated the heightened atmosphere of secrecy and paranoia during wartime. It also showcased the importance of safeguarding classified information. And while the puzzles themselves turned out to have an unintended connection to D-Day terminology, they added an intriguing story to the larger narrative of the monumental invasion. Today, the D-Day Crosswords serve as a unique footnote in history, offering a glimpse into the wartime atmosphere and the intricate web of secrecy that surrounded the Allied invasion of Normandy. 2. The Nazis' blood flag. The Blutfahne, or the blood flag, is extremely important when it comes to the history and mythology of the Nazi Party. According to Nazi lore, the Blutfahne was a red flag that was stained with the blood of fallen Nazi Party members during the failed beer hall putsch in 1923. Afterward, the flag became a symbol of martyrdom and sacrifice for the Nazi cause. The story behind the Blutfahne begins with the infamous beer hall putsch, a failed coup attempt led by Adolf Hitler and other prominent Nazi leaders. On November 9, 1923, during a march through Munich, the Nazis clashed with the police, resulting in several fatalities. It's believed that during the ensuing chaos, the flag was damaged and the blood of fallen comrades soaked into the fabric. The Blutfahne was revered within the Nazi Party, representing the bravery of those who fought and died for their cause. It became a powerful symbol of loyalty, devotion, and willingness to shed blood for the ideals of National Socialism. However, the whereabouts of the Blutfahne became a subject of controversy. The flag was said to have been kept in a special shrine in Munich's Braunhaus, the name given to the Nazi Party headquarters, located between the Koningsplatz and the Karolinnenplatz squares in Germany. But when the Allied forces occupied Germany at the end of World War II, the flag went missing, and its fate remains unknown. Various theories and claims about the whereabouts of the Blutfahne have emerged over the years. Some speculate that it was destroyed during the war or looted by Allied troops, but others believe that it was hidden or secretly preserved by former Nazi sympathizers or individuals hoping to capitalize on its historical significance. Despite extensive searches, the Blutfahne has never been recovered or positively identified. Its absence adds to the intrigue and mystique surrounding this infamous Nazi relic. Today, the Blutfahne exists as a symbol both of the dark legacy of the Nazi Party and the enduring fascination with lost artifacts that hold historical as well as cultural significance. While the Blutfahne's physical existence may remain a mystery, its symbolism and the stories associated with it continue to serve as a reminder of the ideologies and propaganda that accompanied one of the darkest periods in human history. And in addition, the missing blood flag stands as a testament to the lasting impact and lingering fascination with the Nazi regime. 1. The Peking Man Fossils. The Peking Man represents a crucial link in the human evolutionary chain. The fossils of the Peking Man were unearthed in the caves of Zhoukudian in the 1920s and 1930s near Beijing, China, and were stored at the Peking Union Medical College until the outbreak of the war. The remains included skull fragments, teeth, and various bones, offering evidence of early hominids with advanced tool-making capabilities and a sophisticated use of fire. And amazingly, these fossils were dated from around 770,000 to 230,000 years ago. During the war, the Japanese occupation of China provided an opportunity for Japanese scientists and researchers to gain access to the valuable Peking Man fossils. And in 1941, the fossils were secretly packed and transported to Japan for safekeeping, where they were stored in various locations, including Tokyo University. However, the fate of these precious fossils took a tragic turn as the war progressed. As Allied bombing raids intensified, Tokyo became a target, and many valuable cultural artifacts, including the Peking Man fossils, were lost or destroyed. The Peking Man fossils were last seen in December of 1941, when they were placed in boxes that were going to be handed over to US Marines. The exact details of what happened to the fossils during the war and their subsequent whereabouts remain unclear to this day, shrouded in mystery. In the aftermath of World War II, multiple efforts were made to locate and recover the missing Peking Man fossils. However, despite extensive searches and investigations, only a small section of the original fossils were recovered, and many important remains are still unaccounted for. Losing the Peking Man fossils during the war was a significant blow to the study of human evolution. These fossils provide valuable insights into our ancestors' lives and shed light on the migration patterns and behavior of early hominids. And unfortunately, their disappearance has left a significant gap in our understanding of human evolution and history. The legacy of the Peking Man fossils, however, continue through the scientific discoveries made prior to their loss and the subsequent research conducted on the remaining specimens. These fossils have played an important role in shaping our knowledge of human origins and continue to be a subject of great interest and ongoing study. Which of these mysteries from World War II did you find the most intriguing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.